to our "Are you sure you want to delete this?" modal. Okay, so I am going to add it to my user stories section. Now I will note that we're going to have it for feature and modal, or feature and project and user story. And if you look, it is pretty similar. So it's so similar, in fact, that I think I just want to create it in the components and then have props use it to determine what you're creating. Okay, so I'm going to call this delete modal.tsx. All right, and we're going to give it a try. Now, if you want to make it yourself, like specific to each thing, I say go for it. Okay, but we're going to give it a try to make something a little bit more complex. Okay, and see where it takes us. All right, so we are going to return. All right, let's go ahead and look at, do we have any modals anywhere? I think the only modal we have is this feature modal. All right, and that's a lot. So I'm not gonna worry about trying to copy a modal. I am gonna go to Chakra UI though, and I'm gonna go to modal in the docs. So that way I can go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to paste it in. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the button because that's going to be on the other page. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then I'm going to go ahead and import from Chakra UI. And I'm going to add all missing imports and see what happens. Okay, so then we're going to want to pass in is open and on close. And we're going to say those are props. And then let me add my type. Is open. It's going to be a Boolean. And then on close is going to be a function that returns void. All right. Then we are going to export default delete modal. Okay. In terms of the body, I'm just going to take a look here. All right, and it looks like we have, are you sure you want to delete this feature? And then, so 2 texts. Okay, so I'm going to say text, are you sure you want to delete this? And then I'm going to say blink. And I'm going to put it in backticks. So that way I can add a variable here. And then I'm going to say item type. Okay, and then I'm going to add this to my props. All right, I'm going to add it here too. So item type is going to be a string. It's going to either be project, feature, or user story. All right, and let's import text. All right, then we are going to have another text here, and we're going to say within it, you will be permanently deleting all associated. All right, and then we are going to say const associated items. Let's say get associated items. So you can tell that if I were to just make the modal, right, user story, delete modal, and so on, this would be easier, right? But it is what it is, all right? This isn't going to be too bad, so we can do it from the beginning, but if you're feeling like, I don't want to do this, then that's fair as well. You can always refactor at the end. So we're going to say if item type is equal to project, all right, then we are going to say return all associated features, user stories, and developer tasks. Okay, then we're going to say else if item type is equal to feature, and we're going to say return user stories and developer tasks. Otherwise, we are going to return developer tasks. Okay, then we are going to here say get associated items at item type, and we are going to have a period after it. Well, I guess we don't actually need to pass that in. All right. We will not have a secondary action. And let's take a look. All right. So now we are going to figure out where this is coming from. All right. So let's go ahead and add as a user story. Okay, so we have a user story now. So now when I click on this delete button, I want to open my modal, okay? And I'm a little bit nervous about what happens when you open a modal on top of a modal, but you know what? We're gonna see. And if it doesn't work, then we will fix it. All right, so user details accordion is where we're at. Okay, and what we want to do, I'm just trying to find, all right, so I'm going to put it down here, say delete modal, and then I'm going to add missing attributes. So I'm going to say is open is equal to is open, which we don't have yet, but let's go ahead and paste it in. Let's import disclosure. Okay. So is open, and then on close is going to be delete story, and then item type is going to be user story. All right, and then instead of delete story here, we are going to do on open. All right, let's see what happens. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Okay, so modal title, are you sure you want to delete this user story? You will be permanently deleting all associated developer tasks. Let's say close. Okay, so that actually did not work too badly for our first try. Okay, so let's go ahead and add another user story. And I'm going to add a few. All right, and then let's go ahead and add some tasks. Just do like 2. add 3 here, just for funsies. Why? No one knows. Oops. All right. Okay, so now we have this kind of fleshed out. So what I don't love is I don't love when I hit the trash icon, the whole thing opens. Okay? I don't love that. So I feel like we need to figure that out, but we're gonna make that a figure out at a later date thing. Okay, I am pretty much fine with this, how it looks, other than modal title obviously should not. It looks like we don't even have a modal title, so we can probably just go like that. All right. All right, let's go ahead now and look at our feature modal to see how we styled it. All right, so we put everything in modal content. Okay, it looks like we don't have a modal footer. Okay. We are going to have it, but we want it to be instead. So I'm going to take color scheme blue off and see what happens. Just turns it to gray. That's fine. So then we're going to say delete. Okay. And then I'm going to want to add that in backticks. So we can say delete. And then we are going to say item type. Okay. But I want it to be capitalized. So I'm going to say const capitalize item type. Okay. So let's do capitalize first letter JavaScript. All right, so it looks like we can just do 2 uppercase. And then slice the, okay, so we want to say, but you know what, I think I can actually do that. I'm going to do this a little bit sneakier. I'm going to do, if item type is equal to project, then I'm going to return project. If item type is equal to feature, then I'm going to return feature. And if item type is otherwise, then I'm going to return user story. And this is supposed to be an arrow function. I'm a little all over the place tonight. Okay, so then instead of here, we want to do capitalize item type. All right, so now let's take a look at it. All right, we are looking better. Let's not do margin right 3. Let's get rid of the footer. Let's get rid of the body. All right, already looking better. Okay, let's put this in a box. We have to import box. Okay, and let's say margin bottom 10. All right, that looks pretty good. We are going to want to do margin bottom 10 here. And let's do text align center. Looks good. Let's add that to the next one too. Okay, and it looks like we want to make it the bigger text. Curious. So I need to find that. I think font size 20. Let's go here. We want font size 20 and font size 20. That looks pretty good. Feel like okay, so I think I want padding Y 20, and then let's do padding X equals 10. I feel like I want the width to be wider. How did we do it on our other modal? Minimum width. Okay. So let's give that a try. A lot of what I do is guess and check, to be honest, with, okay, that looks better. Okay, so then we want to do padding X equals 10. Nope. All right, I think that looks good. Let's look at the design. Okay, so I think let's do, okay, then let's do padding bottom is 10. All right, that looks about how I want it to look, okay? So then I can click delete user story and it's gone. All right, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, so if I click here, it still deletes it, so not pleased. Okay, so on click to the modal button, we want to on close. Okay, but if we do otherwise, we want to say delete is going to be delete story. Okay, so we want to add delete, and delete is going to be a function that takes in nothing and returns nothing. Maybe delete, let's call it delete item. All right, and then delete item is going to be what we do on click. Okay, so then in delete item, we also need to I'm going to close this. So we're posting it, and then we're going to get a response. And then we catch on close. Okay, now let's try. I'm going to add another one. Okay, so I'm going to press delete. It opens up a modal saying, are you sure you want to delete this? I say, yes, delete the user story. And my session expired. Of course it did. Okay, let's add this back in. All right. So I'm going to say delete user story. Perfect. That looks great. Okay. So the next thing we want to do then is we want to figure out this trash can opening the accordion, okay? And I think we are going to do that in the next video. So I will see you soon. Let's go ahead and check this off though. And we can move users can delete to done. And we can move this bug to done, but let's also say bug Clicking on user story delete opens user story accordion. And we will work on that next. All right, see you soon.